I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBM, we're talking about a powerful book. It is called Confessions of a PhD, Tales of Struggle and Success in the Ivory Tower Volume 1. It is a powerful, real-life look at what it takes to earn a doctorate when life doesn't play fair. It is written by a terrific author. His name is D. Anthony Miles, PhD, and he brings together 12 unforgettable stories full of setbacks, grit, reinvention, and breakthrough moments inside and outside of academia. From heartbreak to hope, this book delivers motivation, practical perspective, and proof that perseverance can outlast any obstacle. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Logan, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate your effort on this book, the wonderful work you have done, of course, meeting us here today and talking with us as well. You are pulling back the curtains on the ivory tower, if you will, and letting people what it's like to earn a doctorate on a playing field that's not always level. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to write this book.
But the genesis for the book, or the impetus for the book, was my personal experiences dealing with the politics and issues with attaining a doctorate. And I would say that's what drove me to write this book. And I said, well, my experiences can't be unique just to me. It has to be unique to other people. And when I started talking to other people that attained their doctorates, I was finding similarities in our stories. Politics, the hazing or the academic hazing of people to attain a doctorate. And that's the heartache, the disappointments. And that's what I found fascinating. So I found authors are willing to tell their stories and tell what drove them to finish and some of the things that they experienced along the way. And I think that we put together a riveting piece of literature that will give people insight on what they have to deal with in terms of attaining a doctorate or the apex of higher education.
Yeah, it can be a very subjective process, and that subjectivity leaves the door open for discrimination, bias, prejudice, whatever you want to call it. Talk to us a little bit about your own story and some of the obstacles you faced in earning that degree.
Some of the obstacles, that I had to deal with is the politics or the political nature of attaining a doctorate, which can involve favoritism, sexism, racism, nepotism. And there are stories of people that have did not have, the best resources around them or the best committees. And what people have to understand about attaining a doctorate, this has been from my personal experience, I can say this, the dissertation research endeavor is about 80% politics and 20% research. Mm-hmm. And navigating through the political climate of it is the hardest part because there's no right or wrong answers. And, you think you have allies and you don't know the difference between your allies and your enemies. And your dissertation committee, especially your dissertation chair, should be an advocate for you, but sometimes they can be your worst enemy. And we still have people that's living in the past. Now we have the internet and access to resources, still trying to make students, doctoral students or candidates, do the things that they did while they were in school, withholding resources, withholding information. And the doctoral experience shouldn't be that way. It should be the other way around. It should be an opportunity for our dissertation committees to create new scholars with new ideas and new ideas to practice to extend the fields of research that had never been done before. But again, the political nature of it is what brings down the whole process of attaining a doctorate.
And it is riddled with politics.
Yes.
They almost want you to adopt their exact mindset and be in lockstep with them if they're going to give you that coveted degree.
That's correct. I couldn't have said it any better, Logan. And we have people that don't want to see new ideas expanded. They want to maintain the status quo, but what's been said before. And there's so many talented doctoral students that are coming out of these schools, and they're having to navigate through this political puzzle, which, everybody's not good at politics. And so we have to, there almost needs to be some type of therapy. There have been students that have committed suicide, students that have quit, students that just gave up. And I guess to join that fraternity, the political nature of it has to be a part of, which I detest. I think it should be, again, an opportunity for these dissertation committees to try to create new scholars. When you see talent, you want to nurture that talent. It is a good opportunity for mentorship. But normally, sometimes that doesn't happen. Yeah. And that's why we have situations where students are committing suicide, because they're probably the overachievers in their family, and they can't disappoint their family. Some people just quit.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation. I've people in my family with PhDs and so forth. I've got my master's thesis, and I realized that this is a very political system when I was involved in postgraduate studies, that you basically had to parrot everything back to them that they wanted to hear, and that's it. And that's not how minds are brought in, and that's not how new scholarship is developed. Talk to us a little bit about gathering these 12 stories. What was that like for you, and what was it like for the people you interviewed?
Well, I didn't think, thought this book was going to take longer than it actually did. So what I did is I sent out a inquiry to people that I knew that had doctorates. I probably sent it out to maybe 100 to 150 people. And the responses that I got was just overwhelming. And they just, when I talked to them, they just poured their hearts out to me and told me some of the things that they had experienced. There was also one of my scholars that submitted a chapter said she was being sexually harassed by one of her dissertation committee members, which I found deplorable. I said, wow. And there was story after story. And I just saw certain themes in some of the stories about people that were having to deal with things they shouldn't have had to deal with, dealing with a dissertation committee and dealing with people that were sitting on their committees. And some of these people that are sitting on these dissertation committees are not very nice. They're not nice people. And you don't usually find that out until you're in a position to have to depend on them and they have you at their mercy. And one of the things about that is if you quit, the university doesn't give you anything. It's your loss. Yeah. And we have a lot of people. We probably have kind of like the story of there are more people in law school than practicing law. I would say there's more people that quit dissertation committees than we have people that actually have doctorates.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a very elitist club. And they're very picky and choosy about who they let in. And it has nothing to do with intelligence or scholarship often. It has to do with, like you said, caving to their demands, which is really unfair. It's almost as unfair as the tenure system in university.
Which it really mirrors that. Great point. It really mirrors that. And it's not how smart you are. It's not how driven you are as a person. It's not about how long you can persevere. The perseverance is navigating through the political climate of the doctorate. That's what the problem is the political nature of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you say to someone who feels like they're too old to begin the process of getting a doctorate? Do you have any encouraging words for them? Or someone else who might be going through the same type of prejudice, bias, or problems that you and some of the contributors of this book went through?
Oh, goodness. You're speaking a story of a lot of contributors to the book. The answer to your first question is no, you're not too old. There is age discrimination with people trying to attain a doctorate from the faculty members, which I think is also deplorable. And I would say if you really want to do this, you're probably going to have to really be a lot more driven and very motivated and appeal to the people of the university. It's getting better. It's not as bad as it was when I started mine, but there have been people that experience some age discrimination, and I think the way around that is to show the people that are accepting you to the program is, are you willing to do the work and are you driven? And let them know, because you're older, you have more time, your kids are grown up, and so you don't have any I would say any obstacles that are going to be in your way. Now, to answer your second question, is how does a person navigate through this? Um, Got to have a support system. Your family, your friends, maybe join another doctoral support groups. That's what I would highly recommend, because one, it doesn't make you think you're crazy. You're experiencing something nobody else is. And also, you may want to involve a therapist that will help you uh, deal with this climate that you probably never got involved with. And again, the academic community is a very, very different uh, fraternity,
Mhm.
and they're very discriminating, and they don't let everybody in the fraternity. It's the reason why they call it the 1% club.
Yeah.
And everybody's not kind of like being a pilot. Many are called, but few are chosen.
Yeah.
And so you have to take in consideration: do you want to be one of the few that are chosen and have some type of drive and motivation? And if you're not going to do the work, you're wasting your time, and you're definitely wasting other people's time, because they're gonna try you. There's politics involved, and it's not about how smart you are. It's not about your level of knowledge. It's not about your body of work. It's dealing with the politics.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel students and PhD students in particular can deal with burnout and the isolation that they suffer from when pursuing this prestigious degree?
You may have to take a semester off, or you may have to, I don't want to sound corny, maybe find your happy place. But I would say, if I had to do it all over again with my experiences, I would say what saved me was a mentor. My uncle was my mentor, because my uncle had worked with over 200 doctoral students. And thank God that my uncle was in my corner. And I think everyone should have a mentor.
Mhm.
And I believe if you have a mentor along with your support system, it will probably help you navigate through this jungle of dealing with the academic politics, because having a mentor is very important. And I think having a mentor will keep you on task. And again, I always tell students this, because I've been on the other side of the rainbow. Are
Mhm.
you willing to be selfish? And what I mean by that is, when I say that to people that are trying to and choose this endeavor, I say, are you willing to not go to family events? Are you willing to miss your kids' plays? Are you willing to not go to church? Are you willing to not always be somewhere where there's family events? Because you're gonna have to be selfish to complete this endeavor, and it's
Yeah.
not for everybody. And some people can't do that.
Yeah.
And if you can't answer that question, am I willing to be selfish? You won't get through this.
Yeah, it's a good point. It is a big sacrifice and it is very, very stressful. It is very, very time consuming.
Yes,
And defending your thesis is an arduous task at times, particularly when you feel like the academia professors who are grading you or passing on you are not in your corner, let's just say. Uh,
absolutely.
what do you hope a reader feels after the last page of your book? Validated, motivated, or ready to act?
I think my book, I think what I would say to someone reading my book, I would say, if you want to do this endeavor, pursue this endeavor, this book should be on your book stand to walk through those experiences with the people that have done it before you. And I believe if a person had my book that wanted to pursue this, they would be a lot more prepared than I was, because I would have loved to have a book like this when I was starting in the doctoral program. And again, there's a reason why they call it the 1% club, because everybody can't navigate through the politics and deal with it. It's the politics and the racism, the sexism, the nepotism, or whatever you call it. You have to navigate through that, and everyone is not equipped to do that. So I think my book would be, I'm not going to say a wake up call. I would say my book would be somewhat of a form of literary therapy
Yeah,
to help
absolutely.
people. And if you have a story that could resonate with you, go, oh, you're not alone and you're feeling this. I think that would be a step in your advantage to get through the program, because you say, hey, I've seen stories like this and it would also formulate a strategy on your end how to navigate through it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And also just
yes,
the commonalities of knowing that other people are going through the same thing is a little comforting on some
absolutely.
levels. Yeah,
I believe my book, or the book with the scholars, is a collections of stories that have therapy to them, and they're happy endings. But what did you do to get there? And what people have to understand is that the people are just not walking around saying they got a PhD or a doctorate and sticking their chest out. Those people had to go through some trauma, and
yeah,
I believe there's post-traumatic issues with this. I was bitter about the people who are on my committee. I hated all of them. And
yeah,
that's not normal behavior or healthy behavior. You should want to embrace the people that helped you get through your scholarly journey. But again, with the politics and things, it can drive people to have post traumatic syndrome behavior.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Before I leave you today, this is volume one. Are you planning on a volume two?
Absolutely. Volume 2 will be out in March. We just received a notice from the publisher, and definitely would like to come back if you want to talk about it. I think
Sure.
our second book is a lot better, and we have more authors, and we got a phenomenal response for when we did prepare for the second volume. It was even bigger than we did for the first one. And so
Awesome.
I Logan, want to throw this at you as well. Because of the response to the first book, we'll be doing an audio book.
Wonderful.
I think it's going to knock people out to actually hear the audio version of some of these people's stories. I think that was probably needed to be done. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hopefully, this is a game changer. Hopefully, the way business is conducted at universities changes because, like you said, it's an inherently unfair process that is loaded with politics and favoritism and
Yes.
bias, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
The,
Absolutely.
the name of the book we've been talking about today is called Confessions of a PhD, Tales of Struggle and Success in the Ivory Tower, Volume 1. It is a moving collection of 12 real stories that prove that perseverance can beat the odds in academia and in life. Get your copy, pass it on to someone chasing that doctorate dream, and keep on pushing. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Logan, thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate your time, your insight, the wonderful work you've done on this book as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.